10 famous achievements misattributed to the wrong people. You ever heard of a famous person being credited with an achievement they didn't actually accomplish? In this video, we explore 10 accomplishments that are often wrongly attributed to famous people. Now watch as we set the record straight and debunk some common myths about the contributions of historical figures. Welcome to my channel Infograbber. Albert Einstein and the theory of relativity. Albert Einstein is widely credited with developing the theory of relativity, which revolutionized the field of physics and our understanding of the universe. The theory is based on two main pillars: the principle of relativity, which states that the law of physics are the same for all observers in uniform motion relative to one another, and the constancy of the speed of light, which states that the speed of light in a vacuum is constant and independent of the motion of observer or the source of the light. Einstein's contribution to the development of the theory of relativity was to propose a new way of understanding the relationship between space and time, known as the theory of special relativity, which he published in 1905. In this theory, Einstein showed that time and space are not separate and independent entities, but rather intertwine and depend on the observer's frame of reference. This theory led to a number of new discoveries and insights, including the famous equation E=mc², which describes the relationship between energy and mass. Einstein later expanded on this theory with the theory of general relativity, published in 1915. This theory extends to the principle of special relativity to include gravity and shows how the curvature of space-time is related to the presence of matter and energy. Einstein's contributions to the field of physics, including his development of the theory of relativity, have had a profound impact on our understanding of the universe and continue to influence scientific research and discovery today. Alexander Graham Bell and the invention of the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell is widely credited with inventing the telephone, a device that revolutionized communication and changed the world. Bell's invention was based on his work on the telegraph and his interest in transmitting sound over a wire. In 1876, Bell received a patent for his invention of the telephone, which consisted of a transmitter that converted sound waves into electric signals and a receiver that converted these signals back into the sound. Bell's invention was a significant improvement over earlier telephones, which had been crude and unreliable. However, Bell was not the only inventor working on the telephone at the time. Elisha Gray, a contemporary of Bell's, has also filed a patent application for a similar device on the same day as Bell. The two inventors became embroiled in a legal battle over the patent, with Bell eventually winning the case and being recognized as the inventor of the telephone. Despite the controversy surrounding his invention, Bell's telephone went on to have a profound impact on the world, transforming communication and paving the way for further technological advancements. Christopher Columbus and the discovery of America. Christopher Columbus is often credited with discovering America, but this is a common misconception. Columbus did make 4 voyages to the Caribbean in Central and South America between 1492 and 1504, but he never actually set foot on the mainland of North America. Furthermore, Columbus was not even the first European to reach the America. Norse explorer Leif Erikson is believed to have established a settlement in what is now Newfoundland, Canada around the year 1000 AD, almost 500 years before Columbus' first voyage. It's also worth noting that Columbus' arrival in the Americas had a devastating impact on the native population he encountered. His arrival marked the beginning of centuries of colonization, exploitation, and genocide, and had profound and lasting effects on the social, economic, and political structure of the America. Today, many people are critical of Columbus' legacy, and some argue that we should focus on honoring the indigenous who have lived on this land for thousands of years, rather than celebrating the arrival of European explorers. Thomas Edison and the invention of the light bulb. Thomas Edison is often credited with inventing the light bulb, but this is not entirely accurate. While Edison did make significant contributions to the development of the light bulb, he was not the first person to invent it. The first electric light bulb was actually invented by British scientist Joseph Swan in 1878, several years before Edison's first successful demonstration of a practical incandescent light bulb in 1880. However, Edison is often credited with the invention of the light bulb because he developed a more efficient and practical version of the device. Edison's key contribution to the development of the light bulb was his development of a long-lasting, low-cost filament that could be used in electric light bulbs. Edison experimented with hundreds of different materials before settling on a carbon filament that could burn for hundreds of hours without breaking or degrading. Edison's work on light bulb was just one of his many contributions to science and technology. He is also known for inventing the phonograph, the motion picture camera, and a number of other important devices that helped to shape the modern world. Isaac Newton and the discovery of gravity. Isaac Newton is often credited with discovering gravity, but this is not entirely accurate. While Newton is known for his work on the law of motion and the theory of the gravity, the concept of gravity had been known for centuries before Newton's time. The ancient Greeks, for example, had already observed that objects fall towards the ground and that heavier objects fall faster than lighter ones. What Newton did was to provide a mathematical framework for understanding these observations and to develop theory of gravity that explained why objects fall towards the ground. Newton's theory of gravity, published in his landmark work Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica in 1687, proposed that every object in the universe attracts every other object with a force that is proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This theory was a major breakthrough in the field of physics and allowed scientists to explain and predict the motion of celestial bodies, such as planets and stars. While Newton's work on gravity was groundbreaking, it's worth noting that he was building on the work of earlier scientists such as Galileo Galilei and Johannes Kepler. Newton himself famously acknowledged this, saying, "If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants." Marie Curie and the discovery of radioactivity. Marie Curie is credited with the discovery of radioactivity, a groundbreaking scientific achievement that revolutionized our understanding of the fundamental nature of matter. Curie's work in this field began in the late 19th century, when she and her husband Pierre Curie discovered that certain materials emit a type of radiation that they call radioactivity. The Curies went on to identify two new elements, polonium and radium, both of which were highly radioactive. Marie Curie's work on radioactivity earned her the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903, making her the first woman to receive this prestigious award. However, while Marie Curie is often credited with the discovery of radioactivity, it's important to note that she was building on the work of earlier scientists. For example, in the 1890s, French physicist Henri Becquerel discovered that certain materials emitted radiation, a discovery that paved the way for the Curie's later work. Furthermore, Marie Curie's work on radioactivity was a collaborative effort with her husband Pierre Curie, and the two often worked together on experiments and research products. Pierre Curie played a key role in the discovery of radioactivity and was awarded the Nobel Prize along with his wife and Becquerel in 1903. Despite the contributions of earlier scientists and her collaboration with her husband, Marie Curie's work on radioactivity remains a major achievement in his history of science and has had a far-reaching implications for fields such as medicine and nuclear physics. Mahatma Gandhi and India's independence. Mahatma Gandhi is widely regarded as one of the key figures in India's struggle for independence from British colonial rule. Gandhi's philosophy of non-violent resistance, which he called Satyagraha, played a crucial role in the Indian independence movement and inspired similar movements around the world. However, while Gandhi's leadership and activism were instrumental in India's fight for independence, it's important to note that he was not the only figure involved in this struggle. There were many other leaders and activists who also played important roles in the movement, including Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and Subhash Chandra Bose, among others. Furthermore, while Gandhi's methods of non-violent resistance were successful in many ways, India's independence was ultimately achieved through a combination of political and social factors. The Indian National Congress, the main political party advocating for Indian independence, was able to gain popular support and negotiate with the British government to achieve a peaceful transfer of power. Gandhi's legacy as a leader and activist is undoubtedly significant, and his philosophy of non-violent resistance continues to inspire movements of social justice and political change around the world. However, it's important to acknowledge the contributions of other and the complex political and social factors that led to India's independence. Steve Jobs and the inventions of the personal computer. While Steve Jobs is often credited with inventing the personal computer, this is not entirely accurate. Jobs was one of the co-founders of Apple Computer, which introduced the Apple II, one of the first commercially successful personal computers, in 1977. However, the development of the personal computer was a collaborative effort involving many individuals and companies, and there were several other early personal computer systems that predated the Apple II. For example, the Altair 8800 developed by MITS in 1974 is often cited as the first commercially successful personal computer. Furthermore, the technology that made the personal computer possible, including microprocessors and integrated circuit, was developed by many different companies and researchers in the 1960s and 1970s. While Jobs and Apple played a significant role in popularizing the personal computer and making it accessible to a wider audience, they were building on the work of many others who came before them. Apple's contributions to the development of the personal computer include the use of graphical user interface and the introduction of Macintosh computer in 1984, which was the first personal computer to feature a mouse and a GUI. Overall, while Jobs and Apple played an important role in the development of the personal computer, it's important to recognize the contributions of others and collaborative effort that made this technology possible. Shakespeare and the invention of words. Shakespeare is often credited with inventing many words and phrases that are now common in the English language. While it's true that Shakespeare was a prolific wordsmith who coined many new words and popularized many others, he did not invent the English language or create words out of a thin air. Shakespeare was writing during a time of great innovation and experimentation in the English language, which was rapidly evolving and expanding during the Renaissance. Many new words and phrases were being introduced from other languages, such as Latin and Greek, and the printing press was making it easier for writers to disseminate their work to a wider audience. Shakespeare was also a master of language and had a deep understanding of the nuances and complexities of English. He was able to use existing words in new and creative ways, and he was not afraid to coin new words or use obscure words that were not commonly used at the time. Some of the words that Shakespeare is credited with coining include addiction, bedazzled, eyeball, and swagger, among others. However, many of these words were already in use in some form before Shakespeare used them, and he simply popularized them or gave them a new meanings. Overall, while Shakespeare's contributions to the English language are significant and enduring, it's important to recognize that he was building on the work of many others and was writing during a time of great linguistic experimentation and innovation. Leonardo da Vinci and the invention of parachute. Leonardo da Vinci is often credited with inventing the parachute, but this is not entirely accurate. While Da Vinci did make sketches and designs for a parachute-like device, there is no evidence that he ever built or tested a working prototype. Da Vinci's design for a parachute was based on the principles of air resistance, and he believed that a person could slow their fall by using a large lightweight canopy to increase air resistance. However, his design was impractical and would not have worked in reality. The first documented successful parachute jump was made by Henri Jacques in 1797. Over 300 years after Da Vinci's sketches, Jacques used a silk canopy and a rigid frame to create a functional parachute, and his design formed the basis of modern parachute technology. While Da Vinci was a brilliant inventor and engineer who made many important contributions to science and technology, the invention of the parachute cannot be credited to him. However, his sketches and design for a parachute-like device did demonstrate his interest in flight and his innovative thinking. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into some of history's most commonly misattributed accomplishments. By uncovering the true origins of these achievements, we can gain a better understanding of the real contributions of the people who made them. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about this video. See you in the next video. Take care.